the XPENG G7 isn't just another EV on the market. It's being called the most intelligent car ever built. At a time when Tesla, BYD, and Xiaomi are fighting for dominance in the global EV arena, XPENG has made a bold move by introducing a machine that doesn't just drive, but thinks, reasons, and reacts almost like a human. Packed with a staggering 2,250 trillion operations per second of computing power and running self-developed AI models that no competitor has dared to deploy at scale, the G7 is positioning itself as the future of intelligent mobility. This is not just about speed or range anymore. It's about raw intelligence and seamless AI integration, something that could redefine what it means to own a car in 2025. The question isn't whether the G7 can compete with Tesla's Model Y or Xiaomi's SU7, it's whether they can even keep up with this level of innovation. And trust me, by the time you hear what's inside this car, you'll realize XPENG has drawn a line in the sand for the entire EV industry. Stick around till the end, because the G7 is rewriting the rulebook of electric mobility, and you need to know why it might just be the smartest purchase of the decade. Let's start with what really separates it from the rest: raw computing power. The flagship G7 Ultra doesn't just run on standard chips. It's powered by a tri-chip setup with two of XPENG's own Turing AI processors dedicated to assisted driving and one more for the intelligent cockpit. Together they produce a staggering 2,250 trillion operations per second of computing muscle. To put that in perspective, this is multiple times higher than most EV rivals on the road today. This level of processing isn't just for show. It's what enables the G7 to do things other cars can't, like making real-time decisions without constantly pinging cloud servers. But it's not just about brute force computing. It's about how that power is used. The G7 is the world's first production car to run a vision language action model. In simpler terms, it doesn't just see what's around it like most AIDAS systems. It can interpret the environment, reason through complex situations, and then act like a human driver would. That means when you're navigating messy city streets, unpredictable traffic, or sudden hazards, the G7 isn't just reacting blindly. It's anticipating, thinking ahead, and making defensive choices. That's the leap from driver assistance to something closer to machine intelligence on wheels. And powering all of this intelligence is XPENG's XNGP system, their answer to Tesla's FSD and BYD's DiPilot. Unlike older systems that rely heavily on HD maps to function properly, XNGP has been optimized to operate in mapless conditions. That means the G7's intelligence isn't confined to a few pre-mapped zones. It's designed to adapt and drive confidently almost anywhere. Pair that with a sensor suite that blends 11 cameras and 3mm radars, and you've got a car that doesn't just rely on one input, but cross-verifies everything it sees. Safety here isn't a feature, it's a philosophy. In fact, the automatic emergency braking system can engage at speeds up to 130 km per hour, a clear sign that XPENG designed this machine to prioritize life first, performance second. Step inside and the intelligence continues. The G7's cabin is powered by the latest Qualcomm Snapdragon 8295P chip running XPENG's XMAR OS. The result? An intelligent cockpit that feels futuristic without being gimmicky. The voice assistant isn't just another hey car feature, it's context-aware, multi-dialect friendly, and can understand layered commands naturally. Needed to adjust the temperature, find a restaurant, and suggest a route with charging stops in one sentence? It can do that. But the real showstopper is the panoramic AR HUD, built in collaboration with Huawei. Projecting an 87-inch augmented reality display across your windshield, it makes navigation, AIDAS alerts, and driving data feel like something ripped from a video game. Instead of glancing down at a screen, everything is layered right into your line of sight, giving the experience a futuristic but practical edge. Of course, all this AI brilliance would mean little if the G7 didn't deliver as an EV. But here again, XPENG made sure it stands tall. Built on an 800-volt high-voltage platform, the G7 supports ultra-fast 5C charging. At a compatible station, you can add 436 kilometers of range in just 10 minutes, faster than grabbing a coffee. With up to 702 kilometers of range depending on configuration, and a strong single motor producing 292 horsepower, the G7 proves it doesn't have to sacrifice power or practicality in its pursuit of intelligence. Now, here's the kicker. All of this is being offered at a starting price of just 198,800 RMB, or roughly $27,300 US. That's not just competitive, it's disruptive. XPENG is directly challenging Tesla's Model Y and Xiaomi's SU7 by undercutting them while offering more advanced intelligence. It's a strategy that screams confidence, not just to win sales today, but to dominate the EV market tomorrow. So is the G7 truly the most intelligent car in the world right now? With its cutting-edge AI chips, first-of-its-kind VLA model, game-changing cockpit features, and ultra-fast charging, it certainly makes a convincing case. But here's the bigger question. If XPENG can deliver this level of intelligence under $30,000, what does that mean for the rest of the industry? One thing's for sure, the EV game has officially changed. And before you even think this is hype, wait until you see how all these features come together in real-world driving. In part 2, we'll break down how the G7's intelligence translates to actual performance on the road, how it stacks against Tesla and BYD, and why it might just spark the next wave of the EV revolution. So don't click away yet, because what's coming next will make you rethink what a car even is. Now, let's shift gears and talk about what makes the G7 not just an intelligent car, but also a truly capable electric vehicle built for performance, range, and convenience. Because let's be honest, having futuristic AI is great, but if the car can't deliver in the real world, it's all just hype. Well, the G7 delivers big time. First off, it's built on XPENG's cutting-edge 800-volt high-voltage platform, which is the same kind of ultra-advanced setup you'll find in high-performance EVs from Porsche and Hyundai. What does that mean for you? It means ultra-fast charging. With support for a 5C charging rate, the G7 can add an incredible 436 kilometers of range in just 10 minutes at a compatible charging station. That's the kind of speed that absolutely crushes range anxiety. You could literally stop for a quick coffee, and by the time you're done sipping, your G7 is ready to take you hundreds miles further. Now let's talk about range and power. The G7 comes with a rear-wheel drive setup that produces a healthy 228 kilowatts, or about 292 horsepower. That's more than enough to give you a punchy, responsive drive while still staying efficient. And depending on the battery option you choose, you can get a CLTC range of up to 702 kilometers. That's over 430 miles on a single charge. For context, that's putting it right in the league with Tesla's Model Y and even beating many established competitors. So when XPENG says the G7 is designed to compete head-to-head with Tesla, they mean it. But what about pricing? Well, here's where things get really interesting. XPENG has officially launched the G7 in China for a starting price of just 198,800 RMB, which translates to roughly $27,300 US. Let that sink in. Less than 30 grand for a next-generation EV packed with AI intelligence, ultra-fast charging, a futuristic cockpit, and serious driving range. Compare that to Tesla's Model Y or Xiaomi's SU7, and suddenly the G7 looks like the value king of the EV market. It's a bold, aggressive pricing strategy designed to dominate the competition, and frankly, it's going to force rivals to rethink their game. But let's zoom out for a second. Why does all this matter? Because the G7 isn't just another electric SUV. It represents a new phase of the EV race, where cars aren't just about range, charging, or speed, they're about intelligence. The future belongs to vehicles that can think, adapt, and keep drivers safe in ways no human ever could. And XPENG isn't just talking about that future, they're delivering it today. A tri-chip AI brain with 2,250 TOPS of computing power, a VLA model that doesn't just see but actually reasons like a human driver, a cockpit that feels more like stepping into the future of mobility than just driving a car. And all of it available at a price point that makes it accessible to a massive audience. So here's the big question. Is the G7 the Tesla killer everyone's been waiting for? Well, it depends. Tesla still has unmatched brand recognition, a massive supercharging network, and years of market dominance. But XPENG is doing something Tesla isn't. They're combining high-end AI with affordability, and they're doing it fast. If XPENG expands the G7 outside of China and manages to deliver the same aggressive pricing internationally, then Tesla and even new players like Xiaomi could be in serious trouble. At the end of the day, the G7 is more than just an EV. It's a statement that the future of cars isn't just electric, it's intelligent. It's cars that can think, predict, and protect drivers in ways no human ever could. And XPENG isn't just talking about that future, they're delivering it today. And with that, I want to know what you think. Does the G7 have what it takes to be the most intelligent car on the road? Could it really dethrone Tesla in the long run, or is this just another flashy competitor that won't stand the test of time? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, I'll be reading them all. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest in EV and automotive tech. Because trust me, you don't want to be left in the dark when the future is happening right in front of us. This was the deep dive into XPENG's groundbreaking G7, and if this is what they're bringing to the table now, I can't wait to see what's coming next. Stay tuned, stay charged, and I'll see you in the next video.